What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Second Street Marvel for the morning movie chat. I hope you're all having a very good day today. It's Friday. Man, can you guys believe it's already Friday, man? I'm telling you, this year is absolutely flying by. And man, it's not slowing down and shows no indications of slowing down anytime soon. And guys, man, I honestly don't know what to say about that because my year has been absolutely going bonkers this year. I'm not sure, in case you guys don't already know, I run my own business and all kinds of things. And back in March, I was in a collision. A lady ran a stop sign and totaled my work van. So, just been dealing with a lot of things throughout the year, as well as kids getting older. My business, obviously, I've got to keep it afloat, and just everything's been going on this year. I'm going to be taking off. It's been a while since we've been on a vacation as well, and we're going to be taking off and going to Seattle as well, to spend a week with my sister here during the holidays. So content might slow down a little bit during that week, but I'm going to do everything I can to be prepared for that whole week while I'm gone. And plus, with technology these days, there's all kinds of things that you can do out there. Now, before I really get into anything, first off, I want to let you guys know that if you would like to support the channel in any kind of way, monetarily would be absolutely great. You can see the list of growing supporters here that support the channel on Patreon, where you can go there and you can become a monthly. You can donate, become a Patreon supporter, and basically you every single month you are helping support the channel with your dollars, and I do greatly appreciate that. You can also send you can see any of the links down in the description as well, and you can send a direct donation here to the channel as well, via Streamlabs. And again, all of that is greatly appreciated. Again, thank you all so much for being here, and thank you once again to every single one of my Patreon supporters here on the channel. I do greatly appreciate every single one of you for all that you guys do, and for just being so awesome in that way. So getting on with some of the things I want to talk about today. Um, there's a whole lot of things I want to talk about. I recently went out and watched Frozen 2 last night with my kids, and then we also got the episode 3 of The Mandalorian I guess last night or this morning, however you want to consider it. I mean, technically, if it drops at midnight, I guess that's this morning. But at a point when most people are sleeping, well, a lot of people, just kind of depending on what kind of schedule you keep, I guess. I want to say good morning to the Lonely Banter, Russell Wells, Benjamin. Thank you so much for being here, as well as Two Gun Pedro. I hope you're all having a very good day today, guys. And right off the top, before I get into Frozen or The Mandalorian, one thing I want to mention is I got some comic book reviews that I gotta shoot today, and man, it's going to be man, it's gonna be hectic, guys. I recently just read this right here, this Deadpool issue number 1. This is a new series of Deadpool out there being written by Kelly Thompson. The art was done by Chris Bachalo. I'm not sure. Bacalo. I'm sure I probably butchered his last name. You can see all those names right there. At the top of the book, the people who put in time on this comic book. And guys, this one's going to be a challenge for me. I've got to try to get this video shot. And I say I've got to try that because you guys know here on the channel, I try to remain objective. I try to do as much as I can. Even when there's a bad title, I want to be as nice as possible because, I mean, there are people out there who might like something that I don't like. This one, I'm going to find it extremely hard to do. This book is lacking so much. Writing a Deadpool title should not be hard to do. This book right here avoids anything to me that would be the Deadpool character. Again, I've never read a whole lot of Deadpool comic books, so I'm like no professional or anything, but guys, this should be easy. This should be easy to do, and they completely missed the mark here. I didn't find there's nothing in this book that made me want to read issue 2. There's no humor in it, and honestly, I gotta say, it doesn't seem like there's really any attempts at humor neither. I did not like this book. I hate when people come out and just say things like it sucked, it's trash, and all these kinds of things. But guys, finding anything good to say about this book even anything bad to say about this book beyond that is pretty hard to do. This is gonna be a challenge. It's gonna be a challenge. So it's something to look forward to, and look forward to hearing about that more on the Trailer Park Live tonight. Okay, guys, and LB, if you're available tonight, it'd be awesome if you'd come on the show tonight. Let me know if you're available tonight. I'll send you a I'll message you on Twitter and give you and see what's up, man. If you're available, it'd be great. Now, the other one I read was Gwenpool Strikes Back, issue number 4. Again, guys, this book, it's just devoid of any kind of anything entertaining. I've read every single issue of this series of Gwenpool Strikes Back, issue 1, 2, and 3. There's one left after this, one series left after this, and guys, I've got to say, issue number 3 actually had a couple of high points. Like it had some humor in it that I found, some things in it that I actually found funny. But you know, a lot of people probably wouldn't find funny. It showed a slight bit of, you know, comedy in it, where this one it just doesn't. It just doesn't. Again, Leah Williams is a writer, or Leah, or however you want to say her name. Maybe it's Lee, Leah. Sounds like Leah, but it could be Lee as well. Just was not good. I just don't like this series. Again, I'm just bringing you guys some reviews on those. I did buy the first 3 issues. This issue number 4, I decided, you know what, I can't. I just can't. And luckily, my kick-ass comic shop is nice enough to lend me some of these comic books to do some reviews on, and I am going to be paying that back to them in the fact that I'm going to be going into the shop, which I do quite a bit of shooting in the shop, and record some, I'm going to be recording some reviews for them so they can put up on their Facebook and their Instagram page. Some, you know, hopefully like 2-minute reviews. But again, Gwenpool Strikes Back, absolutely terrible. And again, that was written by Leah Williams, a writer. I do not like her writing, and I've been keeping an eye on her because, you know, if you guys watch Young Ripper 59, you know that one of his favorite writers out there is Kelly Thompson, and Kelly Thompson is who wrote the Deadpool series, this new Deadpool series, and I can see everything he's talking about in this series. Now, I'm not like the Captain Marvel series she's been writing as well. I don't completely like that series. It's not that great. It's okay. There's nothing special about it, nothing to write home about. But Leah Williams is kind of, I guess, Leah Williams is what Kelly Thompson is to Young Ripper 59 for me, I'm telling you. So I went through and I've been reading some of her different titles she's put out there. I read, God, what was it I read? First one I read was the Giant Man series. That's where she got on my radar. Then I started reading, actually went out there and read Barbarella and Deja Thoris to do a review on, and you know, and I think I did a video where I talked a little bit about that. And then I've been reading this Gwenpool Strikes Back, not very good. And then there's this one right here, this series she's actually been writing right here, this new series, The Amazing Mary Jane. And guys, I've got to tell you, this is what I want to see, Leah Williams. This is what I want to see out of Leah Williams. Like I hate to be mean, and I hate to be like critical when I'm being, or mean when I'm being critical, I guess. And I just haven't liked any of her writing, the really humorless and everything like that. Guys, I did a review on issue 1 of Amazing Mary Jane, and I gotta say, I think this title, this particular series, may be exactly was her calling. This might have just been the right title at the right time. Maybe it's just the right story. I don't know what it is. But issue number 2 of Amazing Mary Jane, once again, was actually pretty good. I actually liked this book. Issue number 1 was decent. And I'm not saying that like they're great or anything like that, and you should rush out to your comic store and buy them. But for me, having been critical of Leah Williams and the work she has done, I've quite enjoyed what she's done with The Amazing Mary Jane. And again, this isn't, I don't think there's anything going on in this book that's going to be really huge in the overall Marvel continuity or anything like that. But this series is actually written pretty good. I've liked what Leah Williams' work in this book. And, which I, you know, like I said, I've been paying attention to her writing to see what I thought of it. This is actually a pretty decent book. And would I recommend this? Depending on who you are, I would say yes. I would say yes. At least give it a try to see what it is. Now, I would say leading into this, because I've seen some people talk about this series, Amazing Mary Jane, especially issue number 1, people who don't read comic books. Guys, if there's somebody out there that you're following out there on YouTube, I'm not saying unfollow them or anything, but if they're out there, they don't read comic books, they don't normally do commentary on comic books, just disregard what they have to say. Okay, they're reading clickbait articles and things like that, talking about these books that the people writing the articles probably don't read the books neither. I'm telling you, this series was actually pretty good. I've been highly critical of Leigh Williams here on the channel, and I am telling you, this series is actually, it's worth a read. It's worth a read. If you get a chance and you have the extra money to spend buying it. It's not too bad. Now, like I said, it's not great. It's not great. You know, I'm not saying rush out to buy it, but it's actually tolerable. I see we've got a few more people here in the house today. Let's see. We got I already seen Russell. We got Russell, LB, and Two Gun Pedro. We also got Wookie Supremacy, who has joined the chat, aggressively relaxing, and even Maverick Pilgrim. Good morning, my friend. I hope you are all doing good this morning. Let's see what's everyone has to say. Wookie is saying what's up. Two Gun Pedro. Tommy, what's up, man? Dude, how did I miss your green avatar there, man? Tommy, thank you so much for being here. Aggressively relaxing says Deadpool is best when he is sad, in my opinion. I haven't read new Deadpool yet. Fun fact: Deadpool has killed 13 people all year. Well, he does he well. I'm not sure if monsters count as people, but you know, I guess he's tallied up another one. Let's see. Aggressively relaxing says I messaged you on Instagram about a collaboration. Awesome, awesome. I'll check that out. Cause yeah, I would definitely like to do that. And Maverick Pilgrim says hello. He says, I'm relaxing. What's up, you guys? Awesome. Maverick Pilgrim says, finally got on a stream. That YouTube and its fickle notifications. Yeah, the notification system is pretty bad. But again, that's why I've been trying to do these at 8 o'clock every morning. And not every morning. I've missed a couple. I just try to do things on a regular schedule so you guys know when to be here. Maverick Pilgrim says, got up early and watched that Mandalorian. Fridays are just that much better. You know what? They really are. And we'll get into that. You know what? Let's go ahead and use that as a segue to get into the Mandalorian Ep.3. Guys, if you haven't been, you know what? At this point, if there's anybody out there, hating on this series at this point, still got bad things to say about it. Again, I don't tell you, I'm not going to hate on anybody's hustle or anything like that. We do what we got to do to get pushed out in that YouTube algorithm. But if there is somebody out there still hating on this series, they are doing it just for clicks. And we can see it's not just people, you know, like the typical like haters in like the Phantom Menace or anything that are doing this. As a matter of fact, I haven't noticed a whole lot of people there hating on it, except for maybe the historian. Oh, the historian. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. But I haven't really seen a whole lot of people hating on it as of late. But you know what? Lately we see I've seen we see some of these special people out there in the world, you know, the ones that it seems like we all have to cater to these days, that are actually hating on this series now. You know, like somebody had to find something to not like about it, you know, because apparently there's not enough woman representation in this series. And guys, what answer me down in the comments below. What kind of bonkers, weirdo world are we living in nowadays? This is not the world I grew up in. Okay, this is not the world I grew up in. It's not reflective, especially on social media. I guess that's what it is, mostly social media. This is not the world I grew up in. This is not the world I'm raising my kids in. And those of you out there who had kids probably when we were younger, like I know some of my personal friends have kids that are the age of these people that we see online, and I know it's not any of my friends' kids, but to all the people who are my generation, what did you guys do, man? What did you guys do with your kids, man? Dang. All right. Yeah, so there are still people out there hating on The Mandalorian, but I'm telling you guys, episode 3 was absolutely great. I would say, dare I say that it's definitely the best of the 3 so far, definitely the best of the series. We see this, just something that I knew was coming the second that we seen episode 1 was this baby Yoda is going to be causing some drama. There's going to be a lot going on around this character because obviously, even if you're a Mandalorian, you're a bounty hunter, you're doing all that kinds of stuff, you know what, the one thing the thing that always seems to be taboo is children. You know what I mean? Is children. You know, only, I'm gonna, only very bad people deal in trafficking children, doing the ransom, doing the bounty hunting, all that kind of stuff, deal with that. And we could see at the very beginning in episode 1 that it was going to be a problem. And here in episode 3, we see that it really escalates that problem. Now, you got to think that if we're getting, what is it, 8 episodes of The Mandalorian, right now we're just barely getting past the first act of this whole series, of at least this first season. And it was, man, it was pretty climactic. This episode was really good, as we see the Mandalorian actually finally comes to he does the right thing. He does. I think he does the right thing, and who knows? Maybe we're gonna find out it was the wrong thing. But he goes in, he turns in his bounty, he gets his loot, and he gets his upgraded armor. So that's pretty cool. Going through the forging process, and during all that, we see that there when he goes to have his new armor forged, he comes at odds with some of the other Mandalorians out there, and we see when he goes there to have all this forged that he's at odds, and he kind of gets in a little scuffle with one of the other guys there. And again, this is nothing that's unusual. Even within different sects of people, people still aren't always on the same page. They're not always in agreement, and to me that's something cool. That's something that we need to see in the world, that there is always some sort of discourse even within certain factions of people, and that's kind of what we get here. And of course we get some more of these flashbacks. These flashbacks seem to be something that we get every single time he gets a new piece of armor. He takes in a new bounty and gets this new piece of armor. We get these flashbacks of when he was a kid. Now, I think these are cool flashbacks. Now, why is it just happening when we're getting these flashbacks, getting his upgrades here? You know what I mean? I think there's something to that. You know what I mean? There's a little bit more than just the fact that we're getting these flashbacks, and he's how would you say, maybe leveling up with his armor and things like that when you play a video game. I think there's a little more to it that's going on here, but we can see through these flashbacks that we're seeing some of the battle droids. Wasn't that what they're called? Battle droids from God, what would that be? The episode 2. What was the name of that one? Episode 2. Star Wars. The battle droids, and we see there where his parents are trying to take him to safety, and his parents. This is apparently the point where his parents are supposedly killed, for all we know. We don't actually see it. And then we see, that the little kid ends up getting confronted by one of these battle droids, and it was really cool. And then we get some of the epic stuff in this series, where he is going and he decides to go. And here's the thing: is episode 3 is called The Sin. Okay, so what exactly is the sin here? That's what I'm kind of wondering here, as because to me, he's a bounty hunter. He's supposed to be going out collecting these bounties, collecting his money. He gets paid, and then he goes back after the bounty, because I'm sure his conscience is getting to him again. We're dealing with children here. Well, supposedly children. It's a little Yoda. It's a baby Yoda, and it's so cute. Now, and that's the thing. So, there's been a lot of talk out there, like, he's probably like 50 years old and this and that, like, we honestly don't know. Regardless, it is a childlike being is what he's dealing with here. And of course, there's just some cute things that happen here. And this little Yoda has childlike characteristics and even acts like a child with its curiosity, something that we see in this episode as well. So we see that he goes and collects the child. Some different drama happens. Some very cool action here with the stormtroopers. Stormtroopers being very characteristic of themselves and not being able to track a target, let alone take down that target. Just a lot of great action. And then at the very end of the episode, we get just this confrontation. And here's where I think the sin comes in at. Maybe the sin being the name of the episode is that he actually goes back and takes his bounty back that he already collected the money on. I think, if you're a bounty hunter and you're doing something like that, you got a bounty, you take it in, you collect your money, and then you go back after it. To me, I think that's probably what the sin here is that they're referring to. Probably because it is probably somewhat of a sin to maybe the Mandalorian code, or maybe just being a bounty hunter. I could be absolutely wrong here, but he goes back and he collects it, and I think that's just something that's just wrong. He goes back and crosses the line, which he probably should have just not took the bounty in altogether and just done the right thing, considering that's what he did. But hey, I think that could be what the sin is. But we see he ends up getting in a confrontation here with basically, and I can't remember all of a sudden what Carl Weathers' character's name is. Creel? Is it Creel? Oh wait, no, that's Agents of Shield. That's the Absorbing Man, isn't it? Never mind. You know what I'm talking about. He goes back and he's talking to. He ends up getting in confrontation with the person that's handing out the bounties, and there's like a big old shootout, and of course all the Mandalorians come in and and help save him. And at that, it was a really cool shootout that happens. He ends up taking off with the Baby Yoda, and then we get this scene of, like I said, they all kind of fly in. Just seems very reminiscent of like Iron Man 3, I guess you could say, and also just some different things out there as well. That just a lot of cool things happen in the episode. I thought it was a really, really good episode. Oh, it says I haven't seen episode 3. Are you going to spoil it, Trent? No, I'm not going to spoil it. I haven't really said anything that I don't know. Did you guys feel that I spoiled it? I don't know that I really spoiled. I just kind of giving a breakdown of the episode, not really giving specifics. Um, but again, I thought the episode was really good. Definitely some things happening in here that are worth seeing and checking out. And like I said, let me know down in the comments, guys. Did I spoil that? I don't think I mean, because to me, like if I gave you basic things that happen in the episode, I'm not like spoiling it, because there's so much more that goes on in this episode. And we see, like, towards the end of the episode, exactly what happens. Is going to have some everlasting some repercussions on all of the Mandalorians as well. And again, I think that all comes down to what the sin itself is actually going to be. Now, again, I think this was the best of the series so far, and I don't know. To me, it seems like the first episode really had the pacing issues. I kind of feel like episode 1 should have ended a little sooner and spent some time in a couple of places, a little bit longer, even just 30 seconds, a minute longer, depending on. I don't know. I think the pacing of the series overall, and I think that kind of hurts the pacing of the series overall so far. But I thought it was really well done. Really, just I don't know. They're doing something. They're doing the right thing. Hitting all the right notes, I guess you could say, as they are going through and making this series. Again, I can't wait for next week now to see what we've got going on with episode number 4. Man, it's going to be great. And if you guys have seen it, please let me know down in the comments below. And again, Wookiee Supremacy, I do apologize if you feel I spoiled it. But if you guys feel I spoiled it, please let me know down in the comments below, and I will do my best to not do that. Again, I'm just kind of giving a basic outline, not necessarily trying to spoil it, because like I said, there's a whole lot of things that happen in the episode that you really need to see, aside from just what I've told you. And let's see here. Wookiee Supremacy says, "Oh shit, it's Friday. Thanks for the reminder, Pilgrim." Yeah, I know. I know. I can't believe it. I mean, that's how it's been flying by. Lonely Banter says, "Yeah, man, appreciate it. Chat was sliding fast, Tommy. Oh, I must have missed something here. I must have missed something there. But aggressively relaxing says, I'm I'm still boycotting Star Wars since they ruined Luke in The Empire Strikes Back." Yes, and it's kind of funny, and and I don't mean to offend anybody here. Like, I like Luke Skywalker. Skywalker is obviously cool. One of the best, one of the more popular characters out of the Star Wars franchise, especially in the original trilogy. Now, the one thing for me, even when I was a kid, I kind of felt this way, and I still kind of feel that way now. Is Luke always seemed to me to be a little whiny. Just a little on the whiny side. I'm not saying that I'm not saying he's a bitch or anything. I'm just saying, to me, he always came off as a little bit whiny, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. We all have our feelings, and we all feel the way we feel. And sometimes when we're faced with some of our fears, and we have doubts and things like that, we can come off as whiny. But for the most part, I always kind of felt like he was a little bit whiny. Like, come on, man, like, be adventurous, have some fun, especially like in episode 1. You know what I'm saying? Like, or episode 4. Come on now. Like he's just so reluctant, and just, I don't know. But again, he's not a bad character. Something I always kind of felt about him myself. But again, he's still one of my favorite characters. Don't get me wrong. My favorite character is R2D2, if you want to call him a character. I don't know. Is he a character? I don't know. But yeah, it's just, since they ruined Luke in The Empire Strikes Back, Wookiee supremacy. Wookiee supremacy says the feminists held a stopwatch when the first female says a line, right? And that reminds me because I've seen even Young Ripa did this video talking about this girl on Twitter who put out this tweet about there's no female representation in it and all this kinds of stuff and like did you not watch the episodes? There was, but I don't know. Apparently, you got to see the face. You got to see the face to know for sure. Like, we can't just assume that that's Pedro Pascal that's being the Mandalorian. We got to see his face. He's got to take that helmet off because we don't know. We don't know. For all we know, it could be a woman under that helmet. Okay. It says I haven't watched it. Wookiee Supremacy says, I haven't seen episode 3. Are you going to spoil it, Trent? And as in say, no, I don't feel I spoiled the Wookiee Supremacy. Let me know down in the comments below, guys. Do you guys, if you've been here this whole time, do you guys feel I spoiled it? I do my best not to. Again, I'm just discussing a couple of things that happened. Overall, I feel anything that I've said, you still have to go watch the episode to see what happened. Pert Minded, what's up, my brother? How you doing? Maverick Pilgrim says, this is a spoiler stream. No, but again, like, if you guys feel I spoiled it, please let me know. I will do my best to not spoil things for you guys if you haven't seen it. So please let me know if you feel that I spoiled it, because like I said, there was and that's exactly something Perp Minded brought up here. I wanna bring up. Tommy says, I don't mind hearing it. I have no plans on ever watching the series. Fair enough. That's something that Perp Minded brings up here that I thought was kind of funny. Was he says Mando Wick. I haven't heard anybody else say that, but that's exactly what I thought when I seen this movie or this episode was the whole time when he's taking in the bounty. You see all the people. He's going to collect his money from Carl Weathers' character. Everybody's sitting there staring around at him. Everybody's all mad and shit, and that's exactly what I thought. And then after everything that happens, he's sitting there, kind of like, taking off, with the football, and everybody's sitting there after him at that point, just like in John Wick. That's exactly what I thought too, was John Wick. I'm sitting there like, dude, this is John Wick. I seen this. You're regurgitating stuff. I'm watching you. I'm onto you, Jon Favreau and crew. I see what you're doing here. Totally see what you're doing there. But yes, very, very good, Perp Minded. That was exactly what I thought too when I seen it. I was like, Mando Wick. Aggressively Relaxing says, what? I can't hire myself if I'm a bounty hunter? No. I don't think you can. Can you? I don't know. Aggressively Relaxed says, I could install you on a trunk of a Honda because you are a spoiler. Oh, dang. Was it that bad? I mean, there was so much I didn't talk about. It was a basic outline. It wasn't, I didn't necessarily, oh, man. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I suck. I suck. I try not to do that. And please, guys, if I ever do that and you're upset, please feel free to give me a thumbs down. And please let me know in the comments if you really feel that I spoiled it, because I do my best not to do that. Unless you guys, especially to give you guys some time to actually watch the episode. You know what I mean? Because I know not everybody has probably watched it yet. So I do my best not to spoil it. Like I said, I feel like I just gave a basic breakdown of what happened without spoiling it. There's still so much that you got to see that happens in the episode. So dang, man, aggressively so you can be installed on the Honda. Perp Minded says, 3 episodes in, feel like we should have a sense of where the story is going. It's still not clear, in my opinion. Is it all about Baby Yoda or bounty hunters versus everybody? You bring up a very good point here. We should have a sense of what it's going, because like I said, 3 episodes in, we're basically already past the first act of the series, pretty much. Like if this is all in a movie, we're past the first act now at this point, and have been. And so that does bring up you do bring up a very good point there, because what exactly are we getting? What exactly are we doing now? I know for me, it feels like we're kind of getting a sense of the Mandalorians and exactly what their job is, and and that even though they're Mandalorians, they do still have some sort of a moral compass, and it's coming this it's coming down to this child that we're dealing with here, the baby Yoda, and exactly what that has to do with, we don't know. Maybe it has something to do with the Mandalorians. Maybe it has something to do with the Mandalorians and the Force, or how maybe the Mandalorians are going to play a part in the basically the rebels coming back up in in the world. I guess you could say, kind of bringing that back around. So. Really hard to say. Kobe reviews movies. Hello, how are you doing this morning? I hope you're doing well. Um, Even Kobe reviews says, I can't believe it's Friday already. I know the week is going so crazy. Aggressively relaxing says, R2D2 is a Mary Sue. Did you just assume R2D2's gender? A Mary Sue would have to be a girl, a female. I don't think the R2D2 is a female. I don't think that droids can have a sex. So I think you're probably wrong there, aggressively. If anything, it'd be a Gary Stew. A Gary Stew. Or, maybe he's, in this point, he's an R2D2 Stew. No, I'm just kidding. Lonely Banter says, man, ain't no spoilers in episode 3. Yeah, I mean, I don't really think there is. Like I said, I gave a basic outline of what happens. I don't think I really spoiled anything because there's still so much stuff that you have to see in it to really understand what's going on with the episode. And again, if you feel I spoiled it, believe me, I have no problems if you guys leave me a thumbs down. And please feel free to tear me up in the comments. I apologize if I did spoil it. So yeah, guys, Mandalorian has been doing absolutely great. I've really enjoyed the series so far. Again, like I said, I think it does still have a little bit of pacing issues. These last 2 episodes really reeled it in a lot with that. But I still feel that episode 1 really kind of set it up in that like the pacing of it really kind of set them back a little bit. And again, it wasn't a terrible episode. I just feel that was kind of a minor setback for the series overall, as it kind of changes everything. Now, the other thing is when it comes to these TV series as well, or in this case, a streaming series, I think, they always get different directors and things out there to do these. I think sometimes that's something that affects the overall story and probably the overall series. And again, I think probably every single TV series out there does this, gets different directors, and you can kind of see what they offer. I feel like this, I don't know, maybe episode 2 probably had the best pacing out of all of them, but this one right here kind of just really followed in that same vein. But I don't know, it could be just me. I thought it was a really good series, and I like what they're doing with the Mandalorian. And now that we are done talking about the Mandalorian, we will go ahead and move into Frozen 2 in just a minute. Let's see. C3PO says him about R2. Okay. Yeah, see, it is a him. But that's just weird, robots are being hims and hers. I don't know. We're getting into dangerous territory here. Pert Minder says, I bet Mando smashed a chick that was force sensitive and they had a baby named Rey. It very well could be. It very well could be. Tommy says he appears to have picked up a slight flutter. Like me? Was it me? Did I pick up a slight flutter? I don't know what happened. Aggressively relaxing says Jon Favreau is always reusing stuff but doing it better. In Batman Forever, a movie he worked on, you see Batvision for a second. Then he made it awesome in Iron Man. Batvision. Then he made it awesome in Iron Man. I'm going to have to go back and watch that. To see exactly what you're talking about. Aggressively Relaxing says C3PO could just be respecting R2's transition. Oh, man. No, guys. No. No. Oh, man. Oh, Chip, you make me laugh, dude. You make me laugh, Chip. In case you guys don't know, Aggressively Relaxing is really just it's an account. It's Chip Zdarsky's account. It's his YouTube account. I'm exposing him. I've already exposed him. He exposed himself actually the other day on the show. But yeah, okay. Tommy says, no Trinity, that was C3PO's, that was a line C3PO said, the slight flight. Okay, right, oh, right. It's been a while since I've watched any of those, and I need to go back and watch some of those, especially getting ready to go into episode 9, getting ready to come out in December. So anyway, guys, speaking of movies getting ready to come out, I did just go out last night and watched Frozen 2 with my kids, took them to see it, and here's the thing is, to me, Frozen, the movie Frozen. Now I know there's probably a lot of people out there like, oh yeah, Frozen, the first one got on my nerves, all them stupid songs and all this stuff. Okay, guys, I've got two daughters that were, God, what would they have been? When that came out, they'd have been 6 years. They would have been like 3 and 4 respectively. You know, maybe 4 and 5 at the time when that came out. Maybe just a little bit younger. Maybe like three. Maybe more like 3 and 4 when that movie came out. So we went to the theater, we watched the movie. We may have went twice to see it. We had the soundtrack, we blasted that thing, man, all them songs and everything. And guys, I really have, how would you say, some emotional attachment to that movie and those songs and everything. They never really got on my nerves. I mean, I'm sure they got on a lot of people's nerves, and there was all the dad videos about it. There was like, ha ha, funny. Like me, like, I like the movie. I like the songs in it. I like the soundtrack. Everything about the movie is really great. Like I said, I've got very fond memories of that movie, with my daughters especially, and my son, he was born at the time as well. He was already well, would he have been 2013? Because what was that, 6 years ago now? He wouldn't have been born when it first came out. I guess he wouldn't have been, but since then, like, he got into it. He watched the movies when he was a baby and all that kind of stuff. But I really have fond memories of taking my kids to see the movie, singing the songs with my daughters, just and then now seeing them grow up and everything. So we went ahead last night, and I watched when they got home from school and got done with their homework and everything. We sat down, we watched the first Frozen movie before we went and watched Frozen 2. And I got to tell you, well, my oldest, she was napping because she's been a little under the weather, and we had a long day the day before. But as we were sitting there watching it, as the movie started, man, while we're watching Frozen 1, I was getting emotional, you know what I mean? And just thinking about, like, man, we're gonna go watch Frozen 2. I'm gonna go watch it with my daughters. They're older now. This was like our thing when they were young. And I'm sitting there kind of getting emotional about it because, like, I kind of started remembering, like, those good times, and hearing the songs, hearing the music. I remember used to sing it with my daughters and everything like that. It was always really fun, just have these very cute fond memories. But, like, I have that same attachment with that first Frozen movie too. Like, I hold it dear. Not only for the memories that I made with my children, but also because the movie itself is just good. Frozen 1 is just a good movie. It's got a great soundtrack. The songs were really great. The movie is really great. Everything that happens in the movie is really great. And we got the two sisters in there, my daughters, the same thing. Like, it's like, to me, it all kind of intertwines and makes it even that much more so, my feelings towards the movie. But not only that, the movie itself is actually really good. I mean, it's got so many great messages and things like that that it does in it. Frozen 1 is going to be a hard thing to top. I'm not sure that it can be done. And Frozen 2 did not top Frozen 1. It just didn't. And that's not necessarily, and that doesn't mean that it's a bad movie, and that doesn't mean I don't like it. I actually did like the movie. What it seems like they tried to do here was take it the next step further. And because we see that the girls have grown up a little bit, they're a little more mature now, and just the same as my daughters, where we can see some time has passed here, in Arendelle and things like that. Now, the music in the movie, to me, the songs just don't resonate, and they don't sound. There's not. Like, the first one had all these songs that are very memorable. They're very catchy. They just have that sound to them that just they still echo in my head. You know what I mean? Like, they're very good songs. The music here in Frozen 2, I don't feel has that same tone. It don't have that same feeling. And again, maybe that's because partially some of my attachment to those first, all the things in the first movie. But the songs here, they just don't seem as memorable. The one thing I will say about them, though, that I think I like about them is, the girls are older now. I'm not talking about my girls, but the girls in the movie, Elsa and Anna, are older now. They're more mature. The songs and everything that's going in this movie seem like that too. Seem like they're more mature as well. Like they took a step into more maturity, maybe a little bit more mature audiences, as far as that's concerned. Like not as grounded in childlike wonder and excitement, I guess you could say. But I did, the songs here, like, there's none of them that are memorable. None of them that I can really remember as catchy in my head. Okay, now there is one song that's in this movie that I was like, ooh, like this is borderline cringe. It was kind of like this power ballad kind of thing that is sung by Christoph, and the whole thing, like what he's singing, the song and everything, it's got a good message. It's got a good point and everything, but it just didn't resonate with me, and it was borderline cringeworthy. Again, it wasn't terrible. Like just at this point, I was kind of like, like they kind of missed the mark there on that song and probably that particular scene. Just kind of like the whole. I guess that point in the movie, like that point in the movie, didn't seem like it really fit there. Just I'm just kind of like, I don't know what's going on here. And again, the highlight of the movie is supposed to be the relationship between Elsa and Anna, and then they're actually dealing with something with some larger scale things going on in the world, I guess you could say, and how it affects their village and their town, and how it is affecting other people. And again, it was really good, and like because basically what happens is everything's all good in Arendelle. Everybody knows all the secrets. Everybody knows that Elsa, is this the Ice Queen or the Snow Queen or whatever you want to call her. Knows that she has her powers. Everything's been going good, and we get that we get that feeling towards the very beginning of the movie as well. Like everybody there in town's having a good time. They all start singing. They're all having to do a big old thing, kind of like party going on throughout the town. But then what happens is Elsa starts getting she starts hearing this voice, this calling and stuff right here. And she's curious about it. She's like, hey, what's going on here? She starts having some dreams and just of some different things happening. And we at the movie kind of opens up with us getting some backstory of when Elsa and Anna were children and with their parents. Now this movie is obviously, this is going to start, it's going to bring out some more of those theories. Remember after the first Frozen movie that there was all of those rumors out there that, ooh, maybe Tarzan is Elsa and Anna's brother because of this and that. There's these things and there's Easter eggs. Guys, this movie is doing those theories even more service. Okay, let me tell you, what happens in this movie, I can guarantee will bring even more of those theories of Tarzan out there. Almost guaranteed, people are going to start saying that it's going to explode. It's going to explode because of what we see here. Because there is at one point we see that basically Arendelle, they're starting to forge a friendship with this native tribe, I guess you could say, of people, and then all of a sudden they are at odds with each other. A big old kind of war breaks out between them, and basically they're split at that point, and they've kind of been at odds for years. Now the thing is you wouldn't really know that in the world because these people kind of get trapped in they get trapped there in this section of land where they're at because of this war and just everything that's happened. I guess you could say it's like a spell that gets put upon them, and they're basically stuck there. Almost like Lost or something. I never watched Lost, so I'm just saying that. These people are stranded in this one particular forest, and they can't leave. And that's kind of so during that whole time, these two Arendelle is battling with this other native tribe as well, and they're just not getting along. They're constantly fighting and stuff like that. And it all happens out of the betrayal of Elsa and Anna's grandfather, who had betrayed this tribe, and that's really what caused a lot of bad things going on in this movie. And altogether, I thought it was a pretty good movie. Has a lot of great messages in it. Now there are some things that I don't want to touch upon. I don't really want to speak upon right now because, and the reason I'm not going to do that is, for one, I probably want to sit down and collect my thoughts and do a more breakdown review of it. But the other reason why is, guys, Myrtle got a hold of me, and Myrtle is just dying to do a review on this movie. Okay, Myrtle was there with us at the theater, and he got pretty excited. he got pretty excited about this movie and exactly what's going on in it, and he wants to do a review. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to make it to the Trailer Park Live tonight, but guys, we all certainly gotta hope that he is available to get his video shot today before the Trailer Park Live, because he has a few things to say about it. But altogether, it doesn't have the heart and the weight that Frozen One had. But I think a lot of what's going on in the movie itself has some very good impact and has some very good message in it, especially for young ones. Us as adults, man. Like, and that's one of the things I like about having kids, and just seeing the world, seeing kind of raising them in this world and everything, is seeing like we're all jaded at this point. We're adults. We've already been ruined, and I do my best to not ruin my children, even though I've already ruined them. And this movie, like I said, I think it's got some good things in it. Definitely once again, another good family film to take your kids out to see. And I don't know, like I said, are adults going to be into this kind of stuff? I don't know. I mean, I think so. I think some adults would enjoy this as well. I mean, there's plenty of adults there, but altogether, I think like movies like Frozen and Frozen 2, they're more, I guess they appeal to the child in us. So that's one good thing about whether we're adults or not, is they appeal to the child in us, and I think when we start to look at it through our adult eyes, maybe we pick out things that may not be there. Maybe it's not completely intentional, and maybe we're just more nitpicky about certain things going on out there. And I kind of feel that's how I feel about this movie. But altogether, guys, I thought it was a good movie. Like I said, there's really no way to top Frozen 1. You just can't do it. You know what I mean? Like, there are just some things out there you can't do. Just like people talk about, like with Terminator Dark Fate. You can't top Terminator 1 and Terminator 2, okay? You just can't do it. You can't do it. You can't top those. You're not going to get a better movie than those, as far as that franchise is concerned. Now, this movie right here, I don't feel that they were trying to top it neither, because it doesn't have any of that childlike wonder in it, and I think some of that is due to the not only the audiences that they're appealing to, like I said, my kids are older, but the fact that the characters in the movie are older now. They're more mature. They have a sense of that in the movie. Now, there is something odd that they did with the timeline here that makes me wonder, like, what are the ages of Elsa and Anna here then? Just through some of the things that happen. I'm starting to think timeline here, and this actually makes me want to go see it again, thinking about that timeline, because I kind of forgot some of it. But even then, I'm kind of like, I think these girls are a little older than we all think they are. But I thought it was a good movie. Like I said, not as heartfelt as the first one, but again, I don't think they were necessarily going for that as neither. There are a few callbacks here in the movie as well. I mean, obviously, not only just the flashbacks to the first Frozen movie, but also just a couple of other callbacks to the first movie as well. Olaf in this movie, while this movie did have plenty of comedy in it as well, Olaf just didn't seem to hit all those same high notes that he did in the first movie. And again, I think that comes to, obviously, one is maturity, and two, you can't necessarily make the same jokes over, and you don't necessarily want to. And here it seems like they didn't try to, but at the same time they tried to. I don't know how to explain it. It just wasn't as good. And he even has a singing part, a song that he sings in here that just. It just didn't resonate with me as much. Like I said, a lot of the songs in this movie didn't resonate with me as much as the first movie did. And like I said, Olaf just seemed toned down a bit. Like they could have, and it almost seems like they tried to make him a little bit more comic relief. Like it almost seems at a couple points where it seems like they almost tried too hard, or maybe just didn't try hard enough. I'm not for sure. I'm kind of split on what they did here. But again, it wasn't bad. And there are some things with Kristoff, the character Kristoff, I didn't necessarily like neither, and some of it in which I did. So again, I'll get more of that, more of my thoughts collected, and do a more sit down kind of review thing, talking about more of those things. But that's all I really got for Frozen 2, guys. Like I said, I thought it was a pretty good movie. Depending on who you are, you may want to head out to see this at the movie theater. The animation in the movie was absolutely great. It seems like they took what they did with in Frozen 1 and took it a step or two further, with the animation and everything. Really, just really beautiful work that they did here. Just, yeah, just a lot of that was really well done. Really well done. Now, another thing I will say is, when the first Frozen came out, like, man, I remember watching, like, man, like, this is kind of like the pinnacle of what Disney can do with some of their movies. Like, it was like really good. They got a good blend of storytelling. Animation was absolutely freaking great. The storytelling, animation, and then the music was spot on. And to me, I think really what led to that was Brave. Brave was a very good movie. I liked it, and I liked it for what it was. The music in there could have been a little bit better. To me, Tangled is right up there with and I think Brave is kind of up there as well. Is right up there with the Frozen 2, with the Frozen, it's below it though. I mean, Frozen was kind of like their pinnacle. Now, Tangled was a really good movie. I like Tangled. Great movie, great animation, great songs, just great everything. And I think that Tangled really kind of set the template and the tone for exactly, like, it was kind of that. It was at that point where, Disney did Tangled and they're like, okay, like, we got this. Okay, we got this right. They did everything great in that movie. That movie is really good. I like Tangled. And then Frozen kind of took it in that step further and really stepped it up. It's like, oh man, like, it came out, it was like, bam, like, that was like, okay, like, I don't know if you guys are gonna get better than this. You're there at the pinnacle. It's all downhill from here. And I do feel that Frozen 2, I don't even think it's as good as Tangled was, because I do really hold Tangled pretty high up there as far as a lot of these Disney movies are concerned. It was definitely a great movie, and I would say that Frozen 2 isn't quite on the level that even a Tangled is. And again, that comes down to, I mean, not only the filmmakers and, the story, people writing the stories and the songs, but again, it is good. You definitely have to go. You definitely have to go and check this movie out and let me know how you feel about Frozen 2. But I thought it was pretty good. Okay, now let's get back here into the chat here. Perp Minded says the episodes need to be longer. I want to see the Mr. Rogers movie and Queen and Slim. Yeah, I want the Mr. Rogers one to be pretty good. I haven't. I remember watching some of that show watching a show when I was growing up. And Queen and Slim, I'm not even sure what that is. Haven't seen any ads or anything for it, but I would certainly like to see those movies as well. I mean, like I said, I just like seeing movies. I haven't really taken the time nearly in the time the past 2 years to watch as many movies as I normally do. Like, I used to be at the movies like constantly all the time. I'd take my kids to the movies, and like, I'm growing little cinephiles myself. You know what I'm saying? But as far as the episodes need to be longer, I disagree there. I like that they're doing just the 30-minute episodes. It's kind of nice, but I don't feel that they need to be drug out any longer. Because sometimes I feel like if an episode is going to be, if they're going to do hour-long episodes, like, how, like, do they need to be an hour long? And that's what ultimately, because like sometimes we see, I'm sure we've seen plenty of episodes out there where, like, maybe like the episode could have, like, they drag it on, like, okay, like, this doesn't need to be this long. There are things in here that could easily be taken out. Like, go watch any Steven Spielberg film, and I can guarantee you, in any Steven Spielberg film, there's at least 10 minutes of footage that could be cut and left on the floor. Just please prove me wrong. But I kind of feel that that's why they're keeping them at 30 minutes, is so they're not. To me, it makes them work harder at telling a better story, and also it keeps any of that fluff and any of that trash that we don't need to see in the episode in the episode. I think it keeps it out of there, and I think they keep it reeled in, and I think, to me, I think that's a good thing. I like seeing the shorter episodes. Not only that, because sometimes, spending 45 minutes, an hour, sitting there just watching an episode is kind of like, yeah, I don't know if I want to spend that much time doing it. Although, I will say, for what we've been getting out of The Mandalorian, I would like them to be longer. But again, I think part of that is because they are keeping them just 30 minutes that makes me want more. And I'm glad that I'm pretty glad that they are half-hour long episodes. And I think ultimately the bad thing about the half-hour long episodes is that everybody probably assumed that they were going to be the 45, to 50 minutes or so minutes that they would get out of an hour long series. But altogether, I'm happy with the length of the episodes so far. Aggressively Relaxing says, "I love Mr. Rogers so much. Everyone check out the video of him speaking to Congress where they were going to cut funding to PBS, but after speaking to the Fred, they gave them more money." Yeah, I've heard about that. I don't know that I ever actually seen that video, but I remember hearing about that as well. And and that's the thing, at point, especially like with like Congress, the government, and stuff like that, where you're getting into territory where they don't, and I don't do politics here on the show, but the government isn't good at spending money. Okay, they're not good at spending money. They can't handle money very well. They're just not good at it. And sometimes, I think that's a good thing that happened there, because sometimes there has to be somebody out there in the world that's willing to, slap people across the face and be like, "Hey, man, you need to wake up here. Okay, this is how things are going. This is what needs to happen." Just like who's that other guy seems to be ostracized from Hollywood nowadays, Ashton Kutcher, for all he's done with like the human trafficking and all that kinds of stuff. People that are in powerful positions that are involved in that kind of stuff, they don't want to hear that. But there always has to be sane voices out there willing to step up, even at their own detriment, and say something for the betterment of everybody else. And certainly, Mr. Rogers did that as well. The Lonely Banter says, "Do you want to build a snowman?" I do. I'm telling you, like, I love the Frozen. I love Frozen. Frozen 1 was absolutely great. I really did like Frozen 2. Again, to me, it's not as good as Frozen 1. And for some of that, I think some of it is the maturity in it, because they're making it for audiences that are a little more mature, who basically grew up with it. And, I think if you have a child right now that was the age of my kids when the first Frozen came out, they may not be as into Frozen 2 as they would be Frozen 1, just because I think, and I'm not saying it's aimed specifically at a target audience of kids that are like my daughter's age now, but it seems like it is a more mature story than the Frozen 1 was. And again, I think that's a good thing. And I like I said, I do like it. And yes, I want to build a snowman. And hopefully it turns out just like our good friend Snowdub Music and Entertainment here that we see here on the channel. Thank you so much for being here, Snowdub. If you guys haven't checked out Snowdub and his content, you guys got to go check it out, dude. Snowdub is one of my favorites, favorite content creators here on YouTube. You toss these this puppet along together with Kermit the Log, and man, I'm telling you, you've got the even more dynamic duo. Okay, then you toss in the lovely Megs, and then you got the Ribbit and Bigot show. And which is one of my favorite shows. I'm telling you, it's like a staple of my Saturday evenings. Although, was it last Saturday? This last Saturday? I think I missed the show because I was busy doing stuff and I didn't make it to the show live. Well, no, I think I did. Because wasn't it Austin Powers? It was Austin Powers that was on Saturday. I was there. And I was gonna say in the comments, I was gonna say in the comments on that too, that I was going to say when Austin was on there, and I just completely forgot because I was kind of busy doing other stuff while I was listening in. I was going to say, you know what? Austin Powers sounds like an insufferable fandom menacer. Insufferable. I put that adjective in there because, not just to pigeonhole everybody, but the insufferable ones, because I think every sect of people has their insufferable ones. You know what I'm saying? Like, they all do. But it was all in jest. It was all just funny. It was all funny. But it was kind of funny because at one point he actually seemed like he was kind of being grilled a little bit. He was kind of, It was hilarious. It was hilarious. But to me, I think that's what makes the show so good, is because they're just there, they're just talking, they're just having fun and improvising, and I thought it was great. That's why I didn't even say anything, because I was so entertained by what was going on in the show. I was just like, this is just too good. It was just too good. Okay, Aggressively Relaxing says, that super fun fan theory that Elsa's parents were eaten alive by a vindictive leopard. I haven't heard that one, but that's good. Aggressively Relaxed says, I assume Myrtle is disappointed they didn't pull the trigger on giving Elsa a girlfriend. Yeah. Oh man, yeah. Yeah. You don't want to. You guys just wait till you hear Myrtle's thoughts on it, man. I'm telling you, Myrtle's got some things to say. Myrtle's a character. Let me tell you, he's a character. Russell Wells Benjamin says, had to pop out for work. Did I miss the Mando talks? Yeah, for the most part. And, I apologize. Again, I don't. I'm back. I watched Wookie says I'm back. I watched the third episode now. Again, Wookie, you go back and catch what I was talking about on the Mandalorian episode, and let me know. Please let me know in the comments. Later once this gets uploaded and everything. I do my best not to spoil things. I don't feel that I spoiled it. I mean, I was giving a basic outline of what happened in the episode without spoiling it, because there's still so much that I left out that you got to see. But please let me know if you feel that I spoiled it for you, because that is something I do not want to do for you guys. When I'm talking about the stuff here, like I might do that on like Monday or something, or maybe on the Trailer Park Live or something. But I generally like to give people a chance to see this stuff. I don't want to spoil it for you, so please let me know if you feel I spoiled it, and I will do my best to dial that back next time. Because somebody else actually said that in one of my comic book reviews that I did, and I'm like, well, I didn't spoil it. There's still so much you gotta read in this book. But there was the one detail I put in my review that they pointed out, and I was like, ooh, like they are right there. They are right in this one sense, and and I told him, I'm like, thank you. I will do, I will correct that. I'll do my best not to spoil something like that, because that's not what I want to do. I mean, because I want you to watch the episode. I want you to go out and read a comic book. I want you to go out and, I do my best not to spoil the stuff. So please, please let me know if you feel that I spoiled it, and I will do my absolute best to not do that in the future. I will make sure to maybe write down some more thoughts and get a little more clarity in it, because sometimes, on a live show, you get kind of into things, and things just get out of hand. It's like the whole, just the tip thing. It starts as just the tip, and then next thing 9 months later, it was more than just the tip. Okay. Um, Snowdub says hashtag Jenner check. Just popping in for a quick like. Haven't seen episode 3 of Mando and don't want to be spoiled. Okay, yeah, we're already beyond that, Snowdub. We're already beyond that, but yeah, you're all good, man. LB says this complaining about the episodes being short is annoying. Yeah, and like I get, because some people want longer episodes. Because for one, it seems like a lot of streaming shows now do go to the 30 minute to hour mark. It seems like they go for, like 45 minutes. What would be if you had commercials would be an hour, and so I get that. And I think one of the things, like, probably the downfall of Disney in advertising this movie was not letting us know that these episodes are only going to be 30 minutes. I think that would have been highly beneficial to everybody to actually know that, because I think that is something that a lot of people are going to hold on to. Not maybe not hold on to, like they're going to hold it against them, but they're just kind of like, man, I was expecting hour-long episodes here, and we're only getting this half-hour crap. I get that. I get that. And for me, the thing is like, I want longer episodes just because I'm watching them. I'm like, holy crap! Like this is great. This is great. This is what we want. But yeah, I mean, again, I don't think that Perp is necessarily complaining about it, but I do understand why people would be upset by that, because like when you're getting something this good of quality, you want more of it. You want more, and to me, that's just something that like when my mom always said was absence. When I was growing up, absence makes the heart grow fonder, and seeing that short episode, it hooks you in, and makes you want to see that next episode. And believe me, ever since episode 2, this week-long wait is it's excruciating. Speaking of which, did you guys watch the Jeff Goldblum series? The third one of that just dropped as well, and the first two were pretty good, man. I'm telling you, I think it's just Jeff Goldblum. Like, you could sit there and watch him go on about anything just because he's a character. That's why he's a character. Um, let's see. Snowdub says LB, they need something to complain about. That's what those channels do, right? Snowdub says somebody say snowman. Yes. But the carrot is the nose, not the dingaling. Anyway, Snowdub says, I appreciate the love, my friend. Thank you. No, man, much love to you, man. Like I said, man, the Ribbit and Bigot show is that's my Saturday. That's my Saturday Night Live now, because I stopped watching Saturday Night Live a while ago. And believe me, I used to watch Saturday Night Live religiously, even in the time when it was kind of slumping. Like now, it took a nosedive. Aggressively Relaxing says, everyone check out Resistance to watch a Star Wars show with more sophisticated writing. Okay, yeah, I'll have to do that. I've never watched it. Um, Snowdub's laughing. Wookie Supreme says, I'm back. I watched the third episode. Snowdub says, I'm crying. I'm laughing so hard. I'm guessing that was about the, was that about the Austin Powers thing? And he said, hashtag just the tip. Wookie Supremacist says, I left fast enough. It's all good. Hey, Snow. Okay. Yeah. And please, like I said, Wookie, let me know if you feel like, go back and watch the video later and let me know if you feel I spoiled it. Cause again, guys, I do my best not to do that. I do my best not to do that. And I would like that feedback. If you get a chance and want to go back and watch this later and let me know. So Dub says hashtag just the tip. Aggressively relaxed says the opening to Tarzan is Elsa, Anna, and Tarzan's parents getting eaten alive while a Phil Collins song plays. Which one was it? Was it "You'll Be in My Heart"? Yes, you'll be. Oh wait, whoa, content strike. I'm not even gonna sing it. I'm not gonna sing it. Wookiee Supremacy says that last one is pure badassery. Yeah, man, I'm telling you, you got to be talking about episode 3 of The Mandalorian. That was great. That was really good. I liked it. It was, yeah. There's so many good things I could say about it. Wookiee Supremacist says, I was looking at the Jeff Goldblum thing. Yeah, yeah. It's good, Trent. Yeah, I think the Jeff Goldblum one is pretty good. Again, he's just going through and just it's not even like a how it's made kind of thing. Like the first episode was about sneakers, and they kind of go into just a lot about shoes, talking about just some of the innovation in them and like shoe conventions and stuff like that. The second episode is about ice cream, and they're talking about like how it came about, a little brief history on ice cream, and just kind of how it's evolved over the years and things like that. Kind of a how it's made. And then I haven't got to watch the third episode yet, but it's about tattoos, and to me that's interesting. I want to watch the episode 3 where he's talking about the tattoos, and because that's a huge thing now. I mean, gosh, man, I remember like even as much as 20 years ago, having a tattoo in a workplace, it was taboo. You know what I mean? Like nowadays, it's more of a normalized thing. Like if you had a half sleeve, a quarter sleeve, a full sleeve, 20 years ago, people are looking at you like, I can't have you working here. You better wear a long sleeve shirt. Nowadays, like I said, even as much as 10 years ago, people would be like, man, good luck finding a job with all that. You got them, got all them tattoos, you got them piercings and stuff. Nobody gonna hire you for that. Like, and now it's more of a normal thing. You know what I mean? So it's definitely going to be an interesting series. Russell Wells Benjamin says the first 2 episodes, I felt the short length had an impact because of how laid back the story felt. The last episode was action packed from start to end, and the length of wasn't even a concern. Yeah. Again, like for me, I think the first episode was too long, and it suffered for it. Not only the pacing issues, but I feel like the episode should have ended sooner, and what happened, some of what happened in that episode should have happened in the second episode, so on and so forth. So I think that's like overall the series so far, as far as the pacing is concerned, it really stumbles because of that first episode and it being so long, and them kind of doing in that episode what I feel is why I'm glad that the episodes are only 30 minutes as opposed to all being 45 minutes to an hour long. I think that, and maybe that's why they did that. Maybe they did that because maybe they did watch the first episode even there, and they're like, "Ooh, we made some mistakes here. It's probably too late to cut all that up and make it 30 minutes. We're just gonna run with it, and the rest of them will be 30 minutes from here on out." Maybe I could be totally wrong here, but I do feel that that's one of the bad things overall with the series is was that first episode being so long, because I do feel like it was a little bit long for what it needed to be. Russell Wills Benjamin says had to check after the fact to see how long it was. Was too tied up in the story, enjoying the episode to care about what length it was. Yeah, me too. And I wouldn't honestly even notice the length if it wasn't for like people talking about it, and yeah, and that first one just being so. Like I said, it just the pacing was off in that first one. Wookiee Supremacy says, "I left when you dropped the detail about him getting his armor. I'm good. You didn't spoil much. Okay." Okay, good. And again, please, yeah, let me know. Let me know if I did, because I need that feedback. I really do. Because I try not to do that. Like I said, just kind of just kind of gave a a basic outline of what happened without trying to ruin too much. But yeah, I'm glad I didn't I'm glad I didn't spoil much. Snowdub says my favorite Second Street Marvel tweet. These people are fucking weird, bro. Yeah, dude. I'm telling you, like, people are weird out there, dude. Like, especially in these fandoms nowadays. Like all these things. Like, it doesn't matter whether it's like the DCEU thing, the DC fans, the Marvel stands, the Raylo shippers, the fandom ministers. Just like some of this stuff is just getting too weird for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, fucking weirdos, man. Like, especially the historian with what's been going on there. Like, come on, dude. Like, you gonna be mad at people for being happy with something? I just don't get it, man. I just don't get it. Oh man. Damn it, Wookie, I haven't watched this yet. Oh, yes, sorry, so he goes. It's all good, man. Going to watch it Friday after Trinity stream. Awesome, man. Awesome. Aggressively relaxed says, I have a cute little gingerbread man that on my foot so I can make tough looking dudes uncomfortable when I join in on showing off tattoos. Oh yeah, man. That's a good idea. A little cute little gingerbread man on your foot. That's nice. That's nice. Did your foot swell up when you got that tattoo? Because it seems like everybody gets tattoos on their feet. Like, the skin there really always swells up a lot and you can't really wear your shoes. Well, you probably shouldn't anyway. But, I noticed that, like, it seems like everybody gets those foot tattoos. Like, their foot really gets pretty swollen up and everything. So, yeah, I'm curious about that. And you need to tweet out some pictures of that gingerbread man. Wookiee Supreme says, gotta watch it. The third episode is the best so far. Yeah, it definitely is the best. It's definitely the best one so far. Just great stuff. But anyway, guys, we've already gone over past 9 o'clock here. Thank you all so much for tuning in today. Now, please make sure that you stick around tonight. Make sure you're subscribed and all that stuff because tonight is the Trailer Park Live, guys. And like I said, hopefully Myrtle can get in the studio and get his review of Frozen 2 shot, and as well as share his feelings on some other things that are going on out there in the world. So thank you all so much for being here today. If you're not already, please make sure you're subscribed. Click the little bell and all of that good stuff. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up or a thumbs down. It's all good. I don't take it personal. Leave some comments. Let's talk about this stuff, guys. We'll see you all tonight on the Trailer Park Live. Later.